Hello, 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 and welcome back to the coronavirus in Spain update video number 50. Wow, 50 live videos. I know there's been more than 50 videos on this channel, but 50 live videos, unbelievable. I never thought I would get to this stage, especially. Everyone who is joining in today, welcome. If you're a new-time listener or new-time watcher, I basically do an update video every Monday and every Friday, updating the expat community here in Spain, and in fact, all over the world, so I've been told, about all the latest news here in Spain to do with the coronavirus and all the latest updates in the royal decree, and translating any official documents so you guys can understand it a bit more. So today's date is Monday the 11th of May 2020, and I am in a different place. There is no baby room behind me here. I am actually in my mother-in-law's house because of course we are in phase 1 here in Murcia, and today, this afternoon at lunchtime, me, my wife, my little baby daughter Lily, we all came down to see my mother-in-law and my father-in-law as well, and we've had lunch with them, and that is the first time in 50 plus days that we have actually seen them. This is of course the first time that grandma, Nanny, has actually seen Lily since lockdown, and that's more than half her life. So it's been a very, very emotional day today. It's been really, really eye-opening to see, and just, I don't know, it's you take things for granted. You definitely do. So we're now back into a kind of normality. We're still not in a normality, but we're in a kind of normality, being able to see friends and family up close for the first time in over 2 months now. So this is really, really good to see. All right, so today, just like always, we're into the 1,000 already. Guys, you are awesome. Make sure you share this videos because I'm only doing these videos every Monday and every Friday. So this is your update video, and this is the video that you need to share out with everyone as possible, okay? So get sharing, get them onto the local groups that you're a part of. I've had tons of messages of people saying that we share this to people in the UK, in Ireland, everywhere. So thank you guys for sharing. Please make sure you click that share button and click that like button and the thumbs up and the little heart button as well. So I've been preparing for today's show over the last couple of days, and of course I forgot my laptop today, so I'm doing this all on my phone, and of course the phone that you guys are viewing this on as well. So at the start of every video, I like to do the statistic rundown, so I'll talk you through the latest figures as well, and then we'll go into some fake news and the news that we're going to be talking about, mainly of phases, specifically phase 0 and phase 1, what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do, okay? So as of today, Monday the 11th of May, there are 227,436 people infected in Spain in total, and that is only 373 over the last 24 hours. Now, I know there are other websites stating that these are a lot higher. Well, this is not through the quick test, and I put out a video about 2 weeks ago of what the Spanish are going to be doing, and the royal decree stated that they're only going to be doing the PCR tests from now on, and they're only going to be counting those in the actual figures. So the figures that I get are officially released by the Spanish government every single day, and we put them out here as well. Yeah, only 373 over the last 24 hours. That's really good. The recovery rate, we are 137,139 people recovered in total, and that is 973 over the last 24 hours. And as death rate, we are 26,744 deaths in total, and only 123 over the last 24 hours. It's still a large number, but we can automatically see that this is at a great decline. Will there be more coming out? Yes. And will there be a higher number probably in the next couple of days? Most likely yes, because of course after the weekend, the paperwork that still has to go through, it normally gets counted over the next 2 or 3 days. All right, let's jump into some up-to-date news as well. But a quick announcement. I actually had a phone call today from a radio station in Ireland. So if anyone is watching from Ireland, you can put a little Irish flag in the comments there, so I know you are in Ireland. But 98 FM in Dublin, they actually called me and they wanted to do a radio interview. So I've actually done this today. It's going to be pre-recorded. So I've done the recording already, and it's all about, of course, this page and the coronavirus in Spain. I'm kind of their correspondent here in Spain, which is quite funny, really. So if you are in Ireland and you can tune into Dublin Talks, which is on 98 FM in Ireland, then you can tune into Adrian Kennedy, the presenter of Dublin Talks, and he will be talking with myself, obviously in the pre-recording, about the coronavirus in Spain, and of course shedding some light for the people in Ireland about the coronavirus situation and the lockdown situation here in Spain too. All right, let's move on. Fake news. So there's been so many articles still going around and circulating. I normally debunk a lot of these articles and a lot of these headlines that do get sent to me. But the one things that have been coming out, and a lot of people have been messaging me, is over 60s are now blocked from travelling. And again, this is just a scaremongering headline. So the article states that over 60s will no longer be able to travel until next year. And no, this is not the case. This is not going to be over 60s, and the government are not putting any bans in whatsoever for anyone over a certain age. This is all speculation of things that have been said and maybe been considered, but I don't think they're going to be putting a restriction. Now, yes, in Spain, they are putting a lot of restrictions per se for the elderly area community, because of course they are the most vulnerable, so they want to make sure that they are the safest. Now, should they be traveling? No, necessarily they shouldn't be traveling. And in fact, I've stated in here, if you need to go supermarket and you are vulnerable, ask a neighbor, ask a friend, and if you're in phase 1, you can definitely ask a family member to go for you as well. And that's basically it. So no, over 60s blocked from traveling, definitely fake. No real facts whatsoever in these articles. Next thing is holidays will not resume until next year. We've had different articles from October, November 2021. Again, there is no actual factual information in these articles. This is just what has been speculated from maybe hotel owners and stuff like this. There is no factual information to say that Spain will not be opening up their borders or anything. And to that matter, you have to also consider that none of this is going to be easy, and none of this is going to be known directly straight away. Maybe in a month's time, we'll have some sort of de-escalation where the borders will start opening up, maybe in a month, maybe in 2 months, but nobody knows this. The president of Spain still doesn't know this because, of course, he's waiting not on dates, but the figures, the actual numbers of each of the regions before he can start considering opening up the borders, let alone opening up the province borders as well. And also, this is another thing I just want to clarify as well, and still people are sharing the dates of lockdown phases. Now, again, there is no actual evidence of when the lockdowns are going to be phased to the next level. So, for example, a lot of people are predicting that May the 11th, phase 1 will commence. Yeah, you were right on that. However, half of Spain have not gone into phase 1. And this is where you have to remember, some of the regions of Spain will go to the next level and others will not. Most likely, it will be another week before the rest of Spain joins the people or the regions who have gone into phase 1. But it's still unclear on when they will be going up, what dates or anything. So this is why the president stated over a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I think, the phases are not through dates. They are through scientific facts and numbers and looking at the regions to see if they have enough ICU units, enough beds, hospital beds, enough carers. So they are making sure that if another region has to go to the phase 1, for example, that they are going to be secure if a second wave actually comes in. Okay, so dates for lockdowns. If you are sharing that the date of the phase 2 will commence, this is not real information. And as you've seen, half of Spain hasn't even gone into phase 1 yet. So this is all changing, and it's a changing matter every single day. All right, let's have a look at not fake news, but actually news that I just want to talk about, because there's some videos going around on aeroplanes coming back to Spain, and the flights are completely full. There is no social distancing. There is no spaces between passengers or anything like this. And yes, I wanted to talk about this because, one, it's very scary to see that these flights, now these are classed as emergency flights, and most likely these are from flights from Indonesia, India, China, and getting residents of Spain back to Spain. This is not a holiday tourism kind of flight or anything like this. This is an emergency flight bringing people back to Spain. Now, the only protocol that the airlines put into place was that everyone had to wear a mask and they had to put hand sanitizer on before entering the aircraft. That was all that was announced before going onto the aircraft. So all the people saying that these are international flights coming into Spain, holiday, no, this is not true. These were emergency flights and getting people back to their country. Should there have been extra protocols on spacing? Personally, I think yes. I think there could have been the middle seat taken out on all of the flights, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So yeah, that video that was circulating, it is a real video and it is quite worrying. I'm not sure what airline it was taken from, but it was taken on board an airline over the weekend, and it's kind of worrying. I just hope that the airlines will take some sort of protocol into their safety measures and hopefully maybe just take out the middle seat, so at least there is a distance between passengers when boarding and sitting on the aircraft as well. All right, let's go into the next thing. Now, from now, I'm going to be talking about phase 1 and what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do. I've talked about this over in previous videos, and I just want to make sure that I've covered everything, because at the moment, I'm still getting bombarded with questions that I have answered in the videos, but unfortunately, the people aren't watching the videos. They're just asking the questions straight away. So please, watch the full video before asking a question. And in fact, if you see someone who is asking a question that has been answered in this video, just tell them, watch the full video, please. And put a please at the end, because we want to be nice, don't we? All right, so everything over the next phases, phase 1, etc., this all has to be taken with common sense, okay? They have not put every single rule and every single detail into the royal decree. So what you have to remember is common sense, okay? Is this something that you should be doing? Is this something that could actually harm if I am infecting other people? It's common sense with this, okay? Now, the biggest announcement over the weekend, and I'm still getting people worried about this, is allowing 2 people in a car together from the same household or from different households. Let me clarify this. Over the weekend, the royal decree had changed that from phase 0 and phase 1, you are allowed to have more than 2 people in a car from the same household or from different households with different measures, such as face masks. So for example, if you are in phase 0, okay, let's say you're in the Valencia region and you are in an area which is phase 0, you are allowed to go 2 people in a car in the same row. You're allowed more than 2 people. You're allowed 3, up to 9 people if you have, of course, a people carrier. So yes, you are allowed to. If you are from the same household, you do not have to wear a mask. But if you are from this phase 0 and you are from different households, let's say you're picking up your elderly mother to take her to the pharmacy, then you will need to wear a face mask, okay? That is one thing. Both of you will have to wear a face mask, but yes, you will be allowed to have 2 people from different households in the car. In fact, you're allowed to have, if it's just a normal car, 4 people. So as long as it's maximum distancing, okay? Oh, sorry, that's the pizza. So I just want to clarify that. Even in phase 0 and phase 1, you are allowed 2 people in the car at the same time. Thumbs up. All right, now for the provinces in phase 0, for everyone who is still stuck in phase 0, please be patient. The mayors and the government officials of your regions are fighting and trying to make sure that you guys get into phase 1 as soon as possible. So please do not ask when you'll be going in, because I don't know. Unfortunately, it's down to the government and it's down to the president of Spain to be able to announce when that region is going to be going into phase 1. So just be patient. It will happen. You're not going to be left behind. You will go into phase 1, and you will go into phase 1 before the rest of the country goes into phase 2. So it will probably be everyone goes into phase 1 first, and then we'll start gradually seeing phase 2 and who will be able to go out, okay? So yes, be patient. Now, phase 1, what are you allowed to do? You are allowed to go to a bar's terrace or a restaurant's terrace outside area to go for a drink. You're allowed to meet with 10 people. It has to have 2 meters distance of the tables, but you're allowed to join tables together and sit around together. Now, it does state, and this is where everyone is getting confused about the 2 meter rule. It states on every royal decree, 2 meter distance. That's it. It never says 2 meters distance of the people that you're meeting or 2 meters distance of the general public. So this is where your common sense comes in. No, I don't think you'd have 2 meters distance of the people that you're going to be meeting. That would be impossible. No bar or no restaurant would be able to open up if every person had to have a radius of 2 meters around them. So it's common sense. You should take all precautions when you're meeting with other people. Today, for example, when I was meeting my families, I touched elbows. That's it. No hugs, no kisses, because I just want to make sure that I'm going to be safe, my daughter's going to be safe, my wife is going to be safe, as well as my in-laws as well. So yes, you are allowed to go to bars, terraces, and go for a drink or some food if they are serving food. You are allowed to go out to shops. So you can go to shops without appointments, such as clothes shops, electrical shops. You're allowed to go to these as long as they are opening up and less than 400 meters square premises. So if it's a shop with less than 400 meters square footprint, then yes, you are allowed to go, and no, they will not have an appointment situation. They will probably have at the door how many people will be allowed in at the same time. You are allowed to move, and again, this is all for phase 1. You are allowed to move within your province or your health district. Now, this is where it got very confusing over the weekend with the Alicante Valencia Comunidad being in health districts or health areas instead of one complete province. That confused everyone. Even the Spanish, I got questions from people who were Spanish asking me if I knew what was actually going on, okay? Now, one thing you have to do is remember, if you are in one health district, you are not able to travel to other health districts because they are most likely not going to be in the same phase as you. However, if you're in the region, let's say Murcia, all of the region of Murcia is open. We are all in phase 1, so you are allowed to move around the province. But this is where I have to speculate this and say you are not allowed to just go out because you want to go out. These are the only reasons that you're allowed to go out. It's still on phase 1. We are not completely open yet. So you should only be going to shops, going to a bar, going to a restaurant or the terraces of a restaurant, or going to someone's house. That's it, okay? That's the only thing that you will be allowed to do in phase 1. Now, also, a lot of people have asked about motorbikes. Yes, you are allowed to ride motorbikes as a form of transport, not a form of sport or hobby, unfortunately. But you are allowed to use a motorbike. It can have 2 people on the motorbike, but you both have to be having helmets. If it's a full mask helmet, then fine. If it's not, and if it's just a helmet at the top, you have to have a face mask on. And also, you have to be wearing gloves as well. Also, ITV garages are open, so you're allowed to go to ITV garages, which is the Spanish MOT equivalent. If your car has expired during the state of alarm, you have 60 days extension to be able to go to the ITV garage, and you will not be fined if you are going to an ITV garage. You are legally allowed to go to the ITV garage. But if your ITV ran out before the state of emergency, then no, you will not be able to drive it legally to the ITV garage. Next thing, yes, you are allowed to play golf in the area that is your province in phase 1. So for example, in Murcia, anyone in Murcia can go to any golf course in Murcia. You are not allowed to go to another province to play golf. You have to be in the province that you are in or the health district that you're in, okay? You are allowed to travel to friends and family's houses, okay? But there has been some news coming out that País Vasco, which is up in the north of Spain, that the mayor is actually not permitting this to happen, even though they are in phase 1. So it's very, very strange that they're going to be saying something like this when the royal decree clearly states that, yes, you're allowed to meet with friends and families, again, with common sense of distancing. That's it, really. Exercise. Now, exercise. This is where everyone was also getting confused. Exercise is exactly the same as before. You can only be going out in certain time schedules, so going for a run, going for a jog, going cycling, etc. The rules are still the same for exercise. Now, one thing which a lot of people are getting confused about, can I drive to a place and do exercise? No. Unless you are going to a gym or a leisure centre or a professional federated sport, you are not allowed to drive, let's say, to the beach and run along the beach. This is not permitted. The only people who will be allowed to go to the beach are the people within a kilometre distance of the beach, where they can go there and do their exercise, or if they're in the same province or municipal as a beach. That's it. So please take that into consideration. You should not be driving to the mountains, going for a hike and then driving back. This is not permitted. Same as going to the beach as well. All right. Gyms can also start opening up. So gyms, leisure centres, these can start opening up with a capacity of around 30%. Churches and anything related with religion can start opening up. Church, mosques, cathedrals, these can start opening up with a 30% capacity. Funerals and wakes can also start happening as well. And this is only up to 15 people maximum for the wakes. Hotels can start opening up as well, but only for people in the same province. So, for example, if someone in the Murcia city centre wanted to go to the beach for a weekend away, they are allowed to move to the beach in Murcia and stay in a hotel there. There is no limit on how many rooms can open. The only limit is communal areas are off limits. This also goes down to tourism accommodation. So, for example, private holiday lettings. This is also going to be permitted because it comes under the tourism license. Now, maybe over the next couple of days, they're going to be putting an announcement of what is specifically going to be classed as tourism accommodation. But as of yet, nothing has been stated. So it's tourism accommodation. So private rentals, this is all okay. But again, it can only be for people who are in the same province or health district who can rent these places. So people from Madrid are not able to come down to Murcia to rent a property for a holiday weekend. This is not permitted. Going to the supermarket. This is a big one. I'm still getting a lot of people asking about, can two people go into the supermarket together now that we can drive together? The answer is no. The rules are still the same for supermarkets and shopping in general, pharmacies, banks. It should only be one person per household going into that shop. You are allowed to drive to the supermarket together. One of you will have to wait in the car and the other goes into the supermarket. Why? And again, a lot of people are asking why. Why is this stupid rule? I don't make the rules up, but I can see the point of this. If two people go in where they could be contaminated or infected, that is double the risk of infecting more people who are out there. So they're trying to limit this down to just one person at a time or one person of the infection level. So yeah, I can kind of see where this is coming from. Yes, it is annoying, but please don't shoot the messenger. All right, traveling to another province for work. So traveling and work in general, this is permitted, but you have to have full proof that you are going to a place where you are going to be working. It is mandatory work, as in your boss is telling you to go here. If you're self-employed, you have to have full documents to say that you are self-employed, up to date with all your payments, and making sure that you can get to these areas as well. So all paperwork, just like before the lockdown, this should all be necessary as well. Notary offices as well. Most government official offices are starting to open up as well. From today, they will be starting to open up in phase 1 areas, but a lot of people are going to be asking about residences, notary office, padrons. This is going to be a huge backlog, a very, very big backlog. So you will have to be very, very patient. Best advice that I can give you is contact your lawyer or solicitor and maybe give them a power of attorney so they can get the job done. Even if you're in England, try and get the power of attorney to your lawyer and they can start the process of residency or padrons. Right. Let's move on to things that you are not allowed to do. I've already touched on a few things whilst talking about the things that you can do, but we'll talk very clearly about the things you cannot do. 1, you cannot go out for a drive, even on a motorbike or just a drive in general, taking the car out. You are not allowed to just go for a drive somewhere. You are allowed to go to a place in the same province if it's the same phase and go to the bar, have a drink and then drive back. But you are not allowed to just go out and go for a drive. I know, kind of a stupid rule, but that's what it is. So you cannot drive to the beach and go for a walk along the beach. You cannot drive to the mountains and go for a walk in the mountains. Fishing or hunting in general, this is not permitted yet. This will be in phase 2. I've already seen a lot of the government official documents here, and they are stating in a lot of the news broadcasts that in phase 2 that fishing and hunting will be permitted. So for the people asking about fishing, yes, it will happen, and hopefully in phase 2. Sunbathing and resting in parks and benches, no, this is not permitted. So still people are asking, if I live close to the beach, can I go down to the beach and sunbathe? No, you are not allowed to do this, unfortunately. Again, it states that if you're going out for a walk or to do some exercise, you should be going out, exercising, and then coming straight back. You should not be going to just do exercise and then stop, sunbathe, and then come back. Unfortunately, this is not permitted. Communal areas, also these are still off limits. So for example, if you live in an apartment complex with a communal pool, these are still off limits, okay? What's the next? Children allowed out without parents. No, this is not permitted. We still have a few people asking, can my 13-year-old daughter go out and meet her friends without us? No, children still have to be accompanied by an adult. If they're going out for their exercise time, they have to be accompanied by one adult per 3 children. But it doesn't say in the royal decree that they can't come with you to a bar or a restaurant to go out for a drink. So again, that's still permitted. Traveling to other provinces or other health districts. Nope, this is not allowed. So for example, if you live in Murcia and my sister lives in Valencia, I cannot go from one province to another. It is not permitted. Even if they're in the same phase, it's still not permitted. Now, talking about the provinces and district areas or health district areas, it seems to be that there's just a lot of confusion with the Orihuela and Torrevieja regions of Alicante. So I've posted a couple of posts. If you haven't seen them, go back onto the page 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, and I posted the list of regions in Orihuela and the list of areas in Torrevieja where you're allowed to go. But it looks like you're only allowed to go to these areas in Torrevieja and only these areas in Orihuela. You're not allowed to cross between these health districts, okay? Two in a supermarket, we've already discussed. No, two people cannot go in a supermarket together. And estate agents, there has been no actual permission for estate agents to work or to start working again. So for example, if I'm an estate agent, I want to show clients around a property, this has not been permitted yet. One, because I know it's unnecessary movement, so moving from one house to another, and probably moving into communal areas as well, which is something that the government want to avoid for the moment. So no, real estate agents are not allowed to work as of yet, okay? Now, last two things. There is an extension on the ERTE payment. So if you have been suspended from your work or your work contract and you're on a temporary ERTE leave, which is ERTE leave, which is you get payment from the government, basically. This is actually going to be going on until the end of June. So even if you started to go back to work, working for your company, then hopefully you will now be able to get your full wages from work, and you will also get your ERTE payments until the end of June. So you're doubling up on the money there. I'm still yet to do a deep dive on this, so bear with me, but this is very promising news here. Very, very promising news. Okay, and the last thing, of course, today is phase 1 for us here in Murcia. And if you guys are also in phase 1 and you've been out to a bar, to a terrace, and even if you've gone to see your friends or your family, take a video and share it to me on a private message. Because what I have done in the past with the children's video, for example, I created a short little video together of the children going out for the first time in 45 days, I believe. And it actually made headline news, and we actually got it onto Good Morning Britain with Piers Morgan talking about it as well. So if you guys want to share a video of yourselves out and about, send it to me in a private message, and yeah, I would love to see some of the reactions that you guys have had, because honestly, it's been an emotional day, and it's going to be an emotional week, seeing all the friends and family. We're not going to be going crazy, myself and my wife, but for the family members, we will be seeing them, because we are, one, dying for them to see Lily, and also we are dying to see them as well. So yeah, if you've got any videos, send them over to me. Right guys, that is it for today. I'm going to be updating you through the week. I've got some videos that I'm going to be releasing during the week as well, some bloopers, some other videos that I've created, and I'm going to be putting them throughout the week onto this page. I'll also be updating you on any major updates that happen during the week. I'll do a short 3 or 4 minute videos just to help you guys understand what is going on. Next live video is going to be on Friday at 4 p.m. Remember, if you're in Ireland, and tomorrow, if you can tune in to 98 FM, which is Dublin Talks, I've been interviewed by Adrian Kennedy, who's the presenter on the talk show here, and I'm going to be talking about the royal decree and Spain in general in the coronavirus situation. So if you are in Ireland and you can tune in, I believe you can tune in online as well. So yeah, from tomorrow from 10 till 12 in the morning. So yeah, that'll be good. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day with my wife and my lovely in-laws. And then this evening, I'm going to go see my parents, which is definitely going to be another emotional roller coaster. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Have a great week. And I'll see you on Friday. Bye.